Hello, my name is Rivaz Mayoki. I'm a sci-fi writer. And for last few months, I've been watching Korean dramas on binge watch. I watched 30 of them by now. I'm considering learning the language to make it easier, but I found a new source of endless fun, and it's quite nice to have something new to watch. I haven't had something like that in a long time. I was watching just Doctor Who for years and writing, and that's it. So this is quite fun. And I was thinking of talking about it about a bit, but I was too busy watching to record anything meaningful. But recently I watched My Shy Boss, or Introverted, My Introverted Boss is translated somewhere. And just a spoiler warning, I will start with the end. So if you haven't watched it and you don't want to get it spoiled, just move away. Uh, I was quite amused by the series, and I loved the way they showed introversion and how hard it is for shy people to interact with others. That was really very fun, and I appreciated the way they handled suicide because it's a hard topic, and elsewhere it's just closed over and it's never addressed as directly as here. And I was quite pleased and entertained with the series up until the episode 11. I would skip through episode 5 because the whole episode was just info dump of background stories. I think that could have been done better. But if they ended at episode 11, it would be just perfect little series, cute and simple, like about shyness, about suicide. But in episode 11, uh, they switched gears and did something I really hated after that. So the sister who killed herself was revealed that the plot twist was that she was in love with the boss all along, and that was like the misunderstanding, and I hated it so much. It was so awful, and I was on the verge of stopping watching altogether, just how much I hated that twist. It was like, how can you come back from that? How can you pedal back, and how can you have a happy ending if her sister longed for her boss, that her sister is now longing for too? It was just a horrible plot twist for me, but I paddled on and watched till the end, and it was horrible after that moment, and I hated each frame. But when it ended, I came to terms with it, and I understood what it means in the terms of characters and story. It just means that this is just one of those stories where a villain tricked us into believing he's the good guy because he's the sole narrator, and his point of view directs our opinion about the other characters. That's something I encountered, sorry, in my own writing. As a writer, if you depend only upon one character to tell you the story and don't engage or understand other characters, you are in danger of being deceived. That sounds a bit crazy, but for me, characters are just like persons you talk to, not like really talk to, but you think about their actions, their motivation, you try to understand where they are coming from and why they do what they do and what it means, the events that roll around them. So as I read or watch series, I encounter that quite a lot with writers who focus solely on one perspective. you get the story that is skewed, that is not really objective, and that portrays more often what the main character wants to happen and how he or she or them wants to be perceived than what actually happened. In the end, I had the sense that the boss from the story shaped the story to show himself in the best possible light. It was like when you see someone narcissistic or someone who is sociopathic, and they see the world in a skewed way, that they think everyone should adore them and everyone should see them as perfect. And when the series ends, every single character in the story is in love with the boss. Everyone is cheering for him, and everyone is in awe of his precious ability. And he won everything. He just got the job, the respect, the leading position, the girl, the forgiveness, the even his father comes along on his side in the end. And that is the type of the end that is most unconvincing to me, when the lead gets everything he wants. That shows the lack of critique or self-awareness. In contrast, the drama I watched previous to this one was The Secret Life of My Secretary. That drama showed off really deep sense of reality, and it did follow different views, and you can tell that not everything is told from the main character's view, and these two dramas are quite similar. In My Shy Boss and in The Secret Life of My Secretary, you have a main lead who is the heir to the throne of the big company, who is somewhat shy and clumsy, but yet competent. And you have his sidekick female who helps him along. And the both characters have the rival who is adopted brother, who is in their shadow, or in the Shy Boss he's in the shadow. But in The Secret Life of My Secretary, the main character gives up his dream and his main position. His best friend wins over the main position and love from a more popular and more attractive female, and he sacrifices things in realization that his privilege did contribute the problems of people around him, and the problems that employees like secretaries face are addressed in a manner that is meaningful. It's it's treated like a serious problem that needs to be rectified, that needs to be fixed. So I liked The Secret Life of My Secretary really. I liked it a lot because it didn't fall into tropes, into simple characterization, and the end was just handled perfectly. And in contrast with The Beauty Inside, that also had a character with the face recognition problem, here he wasn't miraculously cured, and he continued to live with his blindness. Anyway, I love the way the Secret Life of My Secretary dealt with in disability and power struggle. In My Shy Boss, in the end, there is no addressing the power abuse that is constantly mentioned, and everything is boiled down to misunderstanding. He's just misunderstood. No, he wasn't abusive. Neither of them were abusive. And I would argue that both bosses in My Shy Boss were abusive and were did take advantage of their employees. And the point that My Shy Boss, the boss is the real villain, is that the place of the suicide, his office, and the fact that he kept the shoes, and he's the killer. He came there and he pushed her out the window because she had an affair with his friend he was envious of. That's my conclusion. They didn't make another episode where that would be revealed, but that is the only answer. He went to the hospital with his sister, and it was shown that he got text from his secretary that she's waiting for him in his office, and it was shown like he got there, but in the last moment he was late, but there's no proof that he was late. I think that he came there and that he'd kill her, and that he kept her shoes in the box in his drawer, and that he stalked her family for 3 years, like a true stalker, enjoying the control he gained over them and witnessing every painful moment they went through because of what he did. And then he seduced her sister into believing that he's totally innocent and kind. And that's a really terrifying story if you look at it that way. And when I look at it that way, I'm not really mad about the reversal that the secretary was in love with him, because I don't think that she was in love with him. I think that she was fascinated, and that she was truthful when she said to her sister that it was just someone she's watching at. And she was looking at her boss constantly because she worked for him. And in his mind, that was love. And that's why I think that this is the distorted version where the murderer and the stalker tells us his view. From his point of view, everyone adores him or will adore him if he chooses to show his true face to them. And the notion that every time he opens his mouth he says something brilliant and everyone achieves their thing just because he helped them is just so narcissistic. And I don't know, in the end, because all characters are described from his point of view and we see them as he sees them, nobody is really likable. Everyone is really very flawed. The mother is a terrible mother. The snarky guy is just a miserable guy who is incompetent. Anyway, everyone is incompetent except him, and his main love interest really doesn't do anything except obsessing over him. And the fact that when he lashes out and says all the things that annoy him about her, that her response is that she's mad because she can't find anything wrong with him is just like, really? The dude just sits there and pines and stays quiet and ignores you all the time, and you can't find not a single thing that's wrong about him? Really? Anyway, the end when she confronts him about how he ignored her and how she feels disregarded, he puts on the show where he dances and everybody cheers, and like I was like cringe. Firstly, not everyone would cheer. Secondly, it's just so over the top. And thirdly, it's just so typical for egomaniacs. They don't put any effort in a relationship, and then they just make a grand gesture that shows how cool, awesome, and invested they are, and then they don't have to do anything for a few months. They just can think their own thoughts. Anyway, that's my take on my shy boss, and the idea that he has a full closet, not a drawer, but a closet of knives that are sharpened every day just to cut fruits and vegetables. Is just he's such a classical stalkery killer that it's just over the top what they did to make him look like he's this innocent kid who scares people just because they misunderstand him. I don't know. I know a lot of shy people, and it's just I love shy people and introverted people to interact with them because they are great in conversations, and they think a lot, and that's what suits me. But the idea that anyone would be in awe and fear of them if they because they stay quiet is just a bit ridiculous. A lot. It's ridiculous. Anyway, I enjoyed the show. I recommend it if you watched it like you watch a delusion of a narcissist. How he would like for the world to treat him, because as the show starts, he's somewhat related to the reality, and people around him distrust him and fear him and hate him. And we see glimpses of what he would like for people to see him and treat him. And by the end, he gets just what he wished for, and that is for me a warning sign that we are not engaging with reality, but with the delusion the stalkers makes to deal with the world that does not respect him enough and loves him enough the way he thinks it should. It's just, and it's so cringy to think that she would want to have a man that her sister killed herself over. It's just how terrible of a person is she, and I have no compassion for her if this is the real deal, if this is how things transpired. I don't have compassion for these characters. It just seems like they build themselves a world where their egos and their pride can be intact and where they can have everything. And that is not the reality of the world. And it's not what people are about, to just stand in the corner like the I don't know, when people in drama stand and just applaud and react what the main character doesn't do. Anyway, I think that watching things that are not as you want it to be and you are critical of are better for understanding fiction and to see how good fiction is written. And I would say that this is fiction where the writer was seduced by his character and made him like he's this adorable kid that is so innocent and pure, and everybody misunderstands him. I would argue that that is the Loki effect. When you cast an actor that is really nice, kind, and charismatic into a villainous role, because you look at the actor that is really cute, and this actor is really quite cute, you fail to see that he's playing a villain. If anyone slightly menacing was cast in this role, they wouldn't be able to sell it at all. This way, if you don't get annoyed by the end, you can watch it without even realizing you're watching a villain. It's the power of the story, the propaganda. You can really rebrand anything and sell it as good. And I think that's quite an impressive and a good side joke for the stories where their main job is to rebrand people that are bad and companies that are bad and distract the public to notice that they are bad and to encourage them to buy some more, to continue to support the company or the person who did this bad thing. And it's quite a nice parallel that the whole show did that for the main character who started off with rumors that he killed his secretary and that he's probably a serial killer. And they totally rebranded him into this cute, nice guy who continued to act suspiciously like he is a serial killer. But now everyone adores him and nobody suspects him because they rebranded him. Anyway, nice show to watch and to see. Can you catch a stalker and a serial killer as he tries to manipulate, charm, and seduce the people around him? Anyway, this was fun. See you soon, hopefully, and stay safe. Bye.